Hello and welcome back to Reason News with me, Alisha Gaya-Prasad Chetty, where we tackle the topics that matter the most. Today we're diving deep into a subject that's been making headlines and sparking heated debates across South Africa: the nation's relationship with foreign nationals. South Africa, a nation renowned for its diversity and spirit of Ubuntu, meaning humanity or togetherness, has a long and intricate history with immigration. But recently, tensions have flared with concerns over unemployment, crime, and resource scarcity, often attributed to foreign nationals. This internal struggle has the potential to significantly impact South Africa's role on the international stage. It's a multifaceted issue with no easy answers. On one hand, South Africa has a constitutional obligation to protect the rights of refugees and asylum seekers. On the other hand, the government faces pressure to address the concerns of its citizens who feel marginalized in their own country. How South Africa navigates this tightrope will send a powerful message to the world about its values and priorities. South Africa has long been a magnet for migrants seeking better opportunities, but the unregulated nature of illegal migration poses significant challenges. Many illegal migrants risk their lives to reach South Africa, often falling prey to exploitation and dangerous conditions. But what happens once they're inside the country? Spaza shops, small informal convenience stores, have become a flashpoint in the debate over illegal migration. Some argue they provide essential goods and services to undeserved communities, while others claim they stifle local entrepreneurship and contribute to unemployment. Here's what some foreign nationals say about South Africa.
Now in South Africa, also life is very fine. At the beginning, it was quite difficult about the language for the integrity, but now it's very okay. Everywhere in Africa, it's like that. But as we are all in the same continent, I think we are trying to live nicely according with the culture also that we find here in this country, and we accommodate ourselves in.
43-year-old Sam Kofi Ohiming, a Ghanaian national, has been in South Africa for the past 9 years. He came here too for better opportunities. Africa Day, he says, is about independence.
We have our own, we do our own thing, we go anywhere we want. So it's a great day for me, seeing my other African brothers and sisters moving around freely. The way you guys have opportunity here, that's not the way at back home in Ghana. Like here, for instance, in Ghana, when they say grade 12 or grade 11, when you are out from grade 11, in Ghana, we call it JSS 3. When you are out, you can't get any job like here.
Meanwhile, the African National Congress, South Africa's ruling party, is calling for a review of the country's legislation in a bid to prevent foreign nationals from owning spaza shops. This bombshell announcement comes straight from the party's Secretary General, Fikile Mbalula. The ANC cites several concerns: the sale of expired food in some foreign-owned spaza shops, unfair competition due to cheaper imported goods, and recent incidents of food contamination linked to informal traders.
We believe that spaza shops and other small businesses must be preserved for South Africans going forward. We have implored in government to work on a policy, a regulation, and also the law of the country to ensure that this is implemented.
Mbalula's call comes amid growing concerns over the number of illegal foreign nationals in the country. The outbreak of a foodborne crisis that has claimed over 20 lives and the growing challenges of illegal miners have brought the issue into the spotlight. Mbalula reiterated that the ANC remains resolute in defending the country's sovereignty and uplifting its people. He is adamant the crisis can't be addressed by government alone.
The people of South Africa must become the eyes and ears of government to act decisively in relation to this. Some among us in our communities have aided these illegal activities, including in government, by assisting these illegal foreigners to acquire legal status to operate in our country.
Mbalula also took the opportunity to dismiss calls for a national shutdown demanding that President Cyril Ramaphosa step down. This public outcry on Ramaphosa came after his recent commitment to strengthen trade ties with Nigeria. He announced that qualifying Nigerian businesses would be granted a 5-year multiple entry visa to simplify trade, an utterance that sparked outrage. Mbalula has since defended Ramaphosa.
Now, for political expediency, this is distorted deliberately in order to give a wrong interpretation.
Mbalula expects the new policy framework on spaza shops and the tightening of border security to be urgently addressed.
The economic impact of illegal migration is a complex issue with no easy answers. While some studies suggest a positive contribution to the economy, others highlight potential negative consequences. Balancing the need for border security with the economic realities of the informal sector is a delicate balancing act. Finding solutions that are both effective and humane remains a major challenge for South Africa. Moving forward, South Africa needs a comprehensive approach that balances its humanitarian responsibilities. This includes strengthening border control and immigration policies, addressing the root causes of unemployment and inequality, promoting social cohesion and combating xenophobia, and facilitating legal pathways for economic migration. At the same time, the global economic landscape is undergoing a dramatic transformation. Where does South Africa stand in this new world order? South Africa finds itself at a crossroads in this evolving global landscape. Traditionally a leading voice in the non-aligned movement, it's now grappling with the rise of the new economic powerhouses like China and India, while also maintaining ties with Western nations.
We have to reform global economic, financial and political, as well as the multilateral trading system, so that we can create a conducive environment for fair trade.
Let's introduce you to our panel of experts and get a quick reaction from them. From Singapore, we're joined by Danny Quah, who's Dean, and Lee Kei-Shing, Professor in Economics at the National University of Singapore. From Johannesburg, we're joined by Arina Murasan, who's a senior researcher at the Institute for Global Dialogue and a specialist on the BRICS bloc. And finally, in London, Philippe Legrand, who's a political economist and former special advisor to the Director General of the World Trade Organization. Danny, is the world order, the old world order, close to collapse?
I don't think it's so much as close to collapse, but it's certainly being questioned from all sides. The clips that you showed, the clips that we heard a few minutes ago, were ones that were from what sometimes we think of as the global south, and they were critical of the international economic order. One of the interesting turnarounds is that today, the advanced economies, the rich economies, are also critical of the international economic order.
Forces themselves, but if we look at the institutions specifically from the post-World War II order that we, characterize the world order by, multilateralism is and has been under attack. And if you look at the BRICS and their values and the sense that they advocate for a rules-based order governed by international law and celebration of multilateralism, many take for granted that this may be interpreted from one's own value systems. And so the criticism is that the world is in a constant state of stable anarchy, and the institutions like your WTO should be instilling these relevant boundaries to mitigate geostrategic interests. And it's really the rest, the smaller countries, the emerging and middle powers that need to uphold institutional values to build this kind of critical mass that is needed to create a culture of accountability that they all want to see.
South Africa has the potential to be a major bridge builder between the developed and developing world. Its strong democratic institutions and commitment to human rights give it credibility in the West, while its history of anti-colonial struggle resonates with nations in the global South. However, domestic issues like inequality, unemployment, and social unrest could undermine its international standing if not addressed effectively. South Africa's foreign policy is further complicated by its reliance on trade with both Western nations and China. Balancing these relationships while advocating for a more equitable global economic order requires a delicate balancing act. The recent controversy surrounding South Africa's stance on the war in Ukraine highlights the challenges it faces in navigating this new world order. Its reluctance to condemn Russia's actions has strained relations with Western partners, while its emphasis on neutrality has been questioned by some within the African Union. Ultimately, South Africa's place in the New World Order will depend on its ability to address its internal challenges, leverage its strengths, and forge a foreign policy that balances its national interests with its commitment to a global justice and cooperation. South Africa has a rich history of overcoming adversity and striving for a more just but equitable society. By confronting its internal challenges head-on, embracing its role as a bridge builder between nations, and actively shaping its place in the New World Order, South Africa can secure a prosperous future for all its citizens. What do you think lies ahead for South Africa in this New World Order? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to Reason News. This is a wrap of this episode. For more in-depth analysis on the issues that matter the most, stay informed, stay updated, and stay curious only with Reason News.